Hey guys, a few days ago I saw one reel from Hormozi, and uh, it just hit a bit differently. And it was a video where he was saying that he considers that their core competency at acquisitions.com is how they recruit talent. As a founder and as someone who's read a lot of books, as someone who listens to a lot of people who invest in companies and people who buy companies, people, VC firms and all that good stuff. And I've read also a lot of book around how to scale a company, books like Good to Great and things like that. And one of the things that they've always said is that it's all about the who and not the what or the how. But I could never really get myself to understand it, because what happens when you're running a business is that we have this bias into thinking that since we are the founder, that we're supposed to be the leader, that we're supposed to be the superstar of a company, meaning that everything lies on our shoulders to get accomplished, right? So if you're like, hey, we need more sales, the easiest path is, oh, let me become better at sales. What you need is to become a better marketer, to become a better appointment setter. Then we have this path to wanting to become better appointment setters, right? So for me, I can give you guys an example. Like if I want to, get on YouTube ads or build a better program, I'm going to go and search up a podcast around building products, right? Or figuring out how these social network platforms that have all of us addicted were built and designed, right? So I'll maybe use ChatGPT, or I'll, go find a video on YouTube, right? But we have this tendency to like, oh, I have a problem. Let me go learn how to do it, how to solve it. And I think it's why most people in business actually fail. And it only hit me when a guy like Hormozi, who's been able to become an amazing marketer, build a company like Gym Launch. I don't know how many millions they were making, but I know he was making a lot of money every week, every month. Like, why would such a guy who's pretty good at sales, pretty great marketer, pretty great operation person, him and Layla, why would they all come back down to this simple thing, which is hiring as their core competency in their firm that invests and buys companies? Isn't that funny? It's like they've done every single thing. They've gone through all the steps. They've climbed the mountain. And at the top of the mountain, the number one thing that is the most important for them is finding talent. So it just has me thinking like, why am I trying to be anything? My focus should be on finding the best people and giving them an opportunity to flex their skill, to be productive, to produce so much that it's like, wow, this is amazing. I create content also for a living, right? And I know I can tell when something is important for someone based on the tone that they use to say it, right? And when I heard the tone, I was like, whoa, this must be something pretty important, right? And the reason why I'm making this video is because I want to learn. It's not because, for sure you're going to benefit from it, because I'm going to explain to you how you can leverage it. But the reason why I always like to make videos around important concepts is because if I make a video about it, then I'm also learning as I speak. So this client was stuck at 6 to 8K per month, and he just was like, he gave me a little bit of detail. And even before I could learn more about, I know what he's doing. He's pushing a short form content agency and he's doing well. But the number one advice that I gave him on the call is scale the team. Just hire more people. Just hire more people, right? Now, I could tell them like find talent, but when you're doing 6 figures a year, you can't really afford insane talent, right? But you can afford a lot of helpers, a lot of people doing a lot of volume on your behalf, right? So funny enough, it's like even if you're not necessarily at a point where you need really talented people, the way that you scale is actually by having more people. Even if those people aren't A players, even if they're B, C players, they're still the key to your growth. Because I've seen it with my company. The more people I have on the company, the more money I make, inevitably. I was making 60 grand a month. I hired 5 growth specialists. We did a quote of $1 million, $500,000 in a single month. I reduced that size, we make less money. I increase it, we make more. So it's like, if you're struggling to scale, it's because you're the only superstar in the company. You're the only person who has to make the decisions, has to come up with a strategy, has to keep the team accountable, has to make sure your clients have been onboarded, have to make sure that communication happens on time, have to make sure that all these things are done. And you're telling me that you're going to build a company that does what again? 50K per month? I think people don't really understand how many inputs are needed for you to build a $50,000 a month business. And I think that's why most people actually never will get to experience it. I think for me, I got lucky because I learned from people who preach volume, who preach to always do more. So I had this bias to always do more than I needed to do, right? So there's no way that you're going to be learning from Grant Cardone and making $50,000 a month is going to be hard for you, right? Not necessarily because he's going deep and teaching you how to outreach, but because he has this framework around 10xing everything. If I go from 100 outreach a day to 1,000, it's going to make it inevitable for any goal of amount of money anywhere between 10K and 100K per month for it not to happen. I don't know if it's 500 outreach is going to give me 50K a month. I don't know if it's 850 outreach per day that's going to give me 100K a month. No, I just know that if I do 1,000 outreach per day, I'm going to get there. And that's how I've always behaved. I've always done more than what I needed to do. I've always hired more than what I needed. Therefore, when it comes to growing, I just grow effortlessly because I'm hiring for the growth. Everybody who's coming into this online space, they're learning from guys who wear Rolexes. I don't like to feel like I'm dissing someone when I mention this, because I guess I'm also someone that people are learning from, right? But if I can give you guys the most important advice, is that stop learning from someone who's teaching you how to get into the game, because that person is going to help you get into the game. But when it comes to scaling, you have to change who you are. You have to change how you think. You have to change how you make decisions, right? That's the only way that you're going to scale. If you keep learning from the guy who told you to like build a funnel and then to make an onboarding video and to like, hey, this is how you find a media buyer, hey, la 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 la, like, you know, like those type of lessons, like there's no way that person is going to come to you and be like, hey, you need to do 1,000 outreach per day. You're going to be like, I did not pay you $1,000 or $2,000 for you to tell me that I need to work hard. The reason why I can tell you that it's going to require you to start hiring and to start doing the shit that actually scares you is because I've been in your shoes and I've been past where you are, and I know how much work it takes, and I don't make a living off of selling you $1,000 thing. So I don't really care how you take what I say. You can even take it personal, you can accept it, but I can tell you that you're always going to fail if you don't actually learn to do more. And the only way you do more is if you have more people doing the thing. It's not because, like right now I'm making this video, it's almost 11 p.m. Like I'm not, you know, most of the last 10 days I've been drinking wine almost every night. So my life is not really about making videos, it's about enjoying my life. But do you know why I'm able to enjoy my life? Is because I have 23, 25, I don't even know how many employees I have, but I have an insane, you know, pool of talent that work for me and towards my goal every single day on my behalf. So if you want to be my twin, learn to hire. And if you think that you're my twin and you don't have a team that you pay 50K, 100K a month, and you're not my twin, two different people. We're not playing the same game. You may be playing for profit margins, but I'm playing for impact and for real wealth. I know people with 90% margins who can't even pay for food. So it's like so it's like, what exactly do you want? 90% of 1 cent or $10? Do you want $9? Is that what you want? Or do you want 25% of 10 million? That's 250 grand in take home income. 250 grand. That means you can spend 50 grand on 10 cars. You can spend another 50 grand on 3 homes, a penthouse, a cottage, and a place where you go to just have fun, right? To drink wine nights, right? Like that's the type of living that I'm trying to get you guys to get at, because that's what inspires me. I'm not inspired by 10K a month. I'm not inspired by, I mean, to be honest, I have 20 cents in my bank account right now. I wish I could show you guys. I think I could show you guys, but I have 20 cents in my personal bank account, right? But my business is cash flowing and it has, you know, a lot of money in its bank account, right? But so it's like, I'm not really caring about how much money I have right now. It's not really about me. It's about impact. It's about what's the reach. But anyway, this video was about the most important thing you need to understand and you need to learn is hiring. What do you need to hire for hiring? You need hiring systems. You need something to vet the people. You need it automated. You can't always do the traditional thing of like, oh, let's have an interview, right? I remember when I was hiring back in the day when I was starting my appointment setting agency, I used to 7 p.m. interview with a VA. The next day, 3 p.m. an interview with a VA. And then 2 hours later, I had another interview. And I was doing so many interviews that at some point I was like, man, I'm wasting my time interviewing people who aren't even worth my time, right? So what we started doing in the $500,000 program is we built hiring systems. It's a hiring VSL. People opt in. We build pools of candidates, and then we just review looms. If someone is interesting, then we'll jump on a call with them, but not with everybody. For me, I always give people the ability to produce first. I don't like to judge people based on how, I mean, it depends on what role, but I let the work, you know, do the speaking. I rarely ever trust people from what they say. People lie. People lie so much that it's like I would prefer lying on behalf of the person who's trying to get a job than let them lie to me. I'll be like, hey man, I know it's cool. You don't have to lie. Let's just get to work. I'll give you a shot. But yeah, so if guys who are running multiple 9-figure, a portfolio of companies that does multiple 9 figures, says that his hiring is the most important thing for them, then I suggest you also find it important. Well, I don't suggest. I'm like, if you don't, you're just gonna always be a brokey. Because you guys don't understand how much work actually is required to make a lot of money. If I had a team of less than 5 people, I would not be even making 50K per month. If I had a team of 5K people, I wouldn't be making anything, right? Unless I'm selling like automated courses and I just put money on ads and I just get leads and they buy and whatever, right? But yeah, that's the lesson for today. I think it was an important lesson that I need to share with you guys. Hiring. I'm gonna be hiring. I'm gonna become better at hiring, and I think it's the key to getting me to 30 mil in the next 15 to 18 months, right? But we'll look back on this video and see if I was right or not. But yeah, take care, enjoy, have an amazing. It's Friday for me, so I'm just shooting content. I love it. I love work. Ciao.